neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live!
And we're back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David. And between the two of us, we might know what time it is.
Nope.
Not likely. Not likely.
Nope. Neither one of us have a clue of what time it is. I'm actually out in Buffalo right now. I was in Boston last week before, last week. Last week I was out in Boston. This week I'm over here in Buffalo. And luckily to me, in a couple of days, I'll be back in Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be very happy for that. I actually got big news on that front because one of my meetings out there that doesn't really have to do with my job has to do with what I do. And it's one of the things that we've been talking about for a long time, and that is Simply Life Safety, which is one of the website and domains that I own that has just been kind of parked.
Mm-hmm.
I meant to do stuff with it back in 2019. Let's just make sure I say that again. 2019. It came around before the Underdog Journey, and it hasn't done anything. So I'm actually going to work out some deals out there in Central Ohio to get some parts and piece parts to actually build content for this. So earlier this week, and actually, you know what? We almost got into our topic. We almost got into our topic within like the first minute. We can't do that.
Can't let that happen.
So we can't let that happen. So let's back up. What are you drinking tonight, West?
So it looks like I'm drinking a nice, refreshing glass of sparkling water. I'm not. Because, as I told you, my current wife got me the BrewDog Advent Calendar, where, every day of the Advent Calendar is a different beer. And some of the beers are exclusive to that box. So I was really excited. So I'm going to drink all of this on this show. Not all at once. That'd be a kind of show. But, so I grabbed some random ones out of the fridge. And boy, are these random. So right now, I'm actually
drinking, what do we got now?
I'm starting off with their orange ginger hard seltzer, a BrewDog hard seltzer. And I'm not a seltzer guy, and I got to admit, this is not one of my favorite drinks from BrewDog. But look, it's fine. It's tasty. It's like if you took like a orange Canada Dry and put a little bit of vodka in it. It's kind of what it tastes like. It's fine. But here are some of the random others that I got here. I have the Mango Hazy Jane, which is a mango IPA. We'll see how that goes. We have the Double Punk, which is their double IPA. They do a lot of IPAs. And I'm not an IPA guy, but BrewDog's IPAs are actually usually pretty good. Here's another one that I agree.
They're one of the ones I do like. I like to get into some of their IPAs. And everybody knows, we actually talked about it last week. The Elvis juice, man.
It's so
I found it, and I had to pass it up. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I had to pass it up this week. But I did find it in my grocery store out there at Wegmans.
Yeah, I hope you grabbed some. So here's the last one.
I wish I had. So what's the next one?
Here's the last one. I'm kind of on the fence about this. I'm not sure how it's going to be, but I'm really curious. It is their Mint Humbug. It is their mint chocolate stout. And I can't picture what a mint stout is going to be, but we'll find out.
That sounds freaking delicious.
It does, actually.
It does. It sounds like a dessert a minty. You know, there's little mints you get. What's that? What's that? I call. All right. To preface this, I call all these mid-grade restaurants Applebee's. Applebee's, the TGI Fridays. They have a lovely TGI Fridays down in Jacksonville, by the way. If you don't get that reference, then you go back and watch Deadpool again. Ruby Tuesdays, Olive Garden. That's it. So Olive Garden is Italian Applebee's to me. Chili's is Mexican Applebee's to me.
Yeah.
So I just say, hey, you want to go to Applebee's? That means it's very rare that I'll ever invite you to go to an Applebee's because
actual Applebee's.
To be honest, it's no, any of them, because it's just not my style of food. I like you're going to get this level of food every time, and it never gets better. I like to go to the local places that it really might suck one day, but it has the potential to be up here.
Right.
So, and that's what I like. I like going to those places. Like, we go to the Hyde Park occasionally in Columbus, and, that place never disappoints me. It's an excellent steakhouse, but Olive Garden. But, anyway, as back to it, I picture it tasting like those little mints that they give you at the Italian Applebee's / Olive Garden.
Right. Well, that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's what I think.
I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, so we need to report when that one comes in.
What are you drinking
tonight? For me, normally I tell people, I like to drink. I like to have fun. I'm a cheerful guy. Catch me at a Hofbrau house. I'm very rarely at my own table because I'm out meeting people.
Yep, you are.
And it's a great time. So I usually tell people, it's like, if you're having a crap day, that's not the day to drink. Well, I've been having, I'm going to call it a crappy few days, all right?
Yeah.
Just absolute garbage. But business-wise today, from a head clearing standpoint, freaking crushed it. From morning, noon, night, absolutely owned, in my business world. So I said, you know what? I'm going to split the difference and get drunk. So I grabbed it's called a Rusty Chain. It's actually brewed here, and this is from a place called Pizza Plant. It's actually right here in the hotel that I'm in Buffalo, New York. So it's a Buffalo brewery. It's called the Rusty Chain. It's a Vienna lager. So 5-ish% plus or minus. Okay. They probably hit a little lower than high. The cool thing about this beer, and I had one downstairs earlier. One downstairs. So the cool thing about this is it actually, while I don't like the flavor of the hops as they bite and punch you on the way down,
right,
I actually do love the aromas that certain hops really bring.
Mm-hmm.
And this one has it on the front end of the beer and not deep in the back end of the beer. Right. So it's actually quite tasty. It's quite refreshing. And I got 64 ounces of it. This is going to be an interesting show by the time we get to the end.
Look, I've seen you have a couple of growlers during our show.
Yeah, I have done.
We know how that goes.
Yes. Yes. Those are good times. One of the things I did find out, because we have complained sometimes, and for those of you out there in TV land that just absolutely love to watch us, this is the highlight of your week.
Of course.
I've complained about, how, my part of the cast is actually getting it out there and pushing it. And Facebook keeps changing stuff. Well, I discovered they didn't necessarily change it on the mobile, which is why I keep grabbing my phone this week, by the way, is because it's easier to share rapidly from the phone now. So that's why I kept the phone handy. So yeah, they keep tweaking with it, but on the mobile app, it actually works a lot better. So is that our intro? Are we done already with intro? It's 7:10. We can't really be done with intro yet, can we?
Well, we still have the news to get to.
The news. And now the news.
What's going on with the news, David? What do you got for us?
Oh, it's back to me. Okay. Well, the first news is I had to let this beer breathe because I almost spilled it. I almost spilled it all over myself here.
But you only had one at the hotel bar. I get it.
Yeah, I did show the Pinocchio nose on that, by the way.
Yeah.
So actually, I started with a And I put it on the Untapped app, which for those of you guys who aren't on Untapped, go do it right now. It's a freaking great app.
That's great.
It was a 10.5% beer. And I didn't know it. When they got to it, it had a real good front end chocolate flavor and a real good back end bite. And I'm just like, oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. And I'm just, it's gone. And then I'm like, hey, let me look into that. What is that? So I go to log into it. It's a 10.5. I'm like, uh-oh.
Whoops.
I drank that in like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
This is going to come back to haunt me. So as you can see here, it's a little more amber color than what your typical, especially a Vienna lager would be. So really good toasted malts in there as well, along with those hops they have. So news. So we were talking about the news. This is actually kind of a well-beaten path for us.
This is an ongoing story for you. I feel like this
is an ongoing story because this guy's just a freaking gold mine of topics. Yeah. All right.
Who is this?
So this is Bob Paycheck / Chapek, CEO of Disney. Now, as of January 1st, December 31st, Bob Iger completely out of the company now, completely out of the picture. So Bob Chapek, standalone, doing his own thing. He must have actually read The Ride of a Lifetime, which is a book that I have said, hey, everybody, if you're in business, read this book.
It's a Bob Iger.
Absolutely.
Really good.
Bob Iger, Ride of a Lifetime, absolutely phenomenal. And he talks about basically three priorities. And so Bob Chapek came out this week and said, I've got these three, I think he called them pillars, these three pillars. And he went through them. He said, we want storytelling excellence. Go talk to the people over at who's the company they bought from Apple? Pixar. Go talk to people. Go talk to the people at Pixar right now about how they feel about storytelling excellence. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go talk to them. It's a huge thing. I'm not going to go into it, but it's a big thing. Innovation.
Okay.
Innovation's another big thing. The problem is with his idea of innovation is a piggyback upon what Facebook / Meta was doing. He talks a lot about the metaverse and how things can interact there. I'm sorry, your clientele does not want to slap on some 3D goggles and pretend. Because guess what? When we reach out for that churro and I don't get a churro, I'm not going to be happy. And even, you know what? I bet nickels of dollars they would even have it built in where if your kid let go of their hand and that big freaking $15 Mickey Mouse balloon just flew away, you'd have to buy another.
Oh, guaranteed.
Instead of it, digitally just returning back to you, $15 gone. Oh, here's another 15. And immediately when it was flown away, you'd have a balloon vendor right there in the metaverse. So, but here's the one that just. You know what? I'm going to take a moment to get a sip. And by a sip, I mean I'm going to chug this beer.
Building up this pillar number 3 here from Bob Chapek, CEO of Disney. Let's find out. Drum roll. What is it?
Relentless attention to the audience.
Okay, so these 3 pillars he had to put some actually thought into and tell people this is what we need to do. These weren't like core.
Oh, he had a team
in the first place.
There absolutely had to be a team on this. This is not an individual size. This is a team effort, and there's a big difference between.
Say you need to have focus on your customers is something you need a team to develop. Like that should be unspoken.
It should be, but the fact that he's saying it and his team is telling him to say this, excuse me, all of the actions that they have taken are exactly 180 from what he is saying. Yes, so that's right. We're going to talk back over here where I'm in the frame here. We're going to talk about this over here. While we're fleecing you over here.
Yeah, and you know what? The number example of them doing this in real time is the Star Wars Hotel. There has not been a flop for Disney. I would say in the history of Disney, there's not
absolute failure. Absolute failure. There, I would put it up there with this. So there was a like a lake resort for Disney. That lake resort cost less than what the Star Wars Hotel did.
Oh, they've been building up the Star Wars Hotel for years, plural years.
Yes.
And people are dropping the reservations like it's going out of style. And these things are $6,000 a night. And people were this thing was booked up, and now word's getting out about how terrible it is, and people are dropping the reservations left and right.
Yeah, why would you spend so hey Bob, I call bullshit, bud. Flat out, no ifs, ands, buts about it. What you're saying here does not match what you're doing.
Right. You know what? Read all three.
It absolutely does not.
Read all three of those pillars again.
All right, here we go. Storytelling excellence.
Okay, what's second? What's number 2?
All right. Innovation.
Okay, what's number 3?
Relentless attention to the audience.
And I told you this before the show. I argue all three of those were the core principles of Walt Disney himself. And when he was doing it, he was actually doing it. He was creating brand new technologies, not just in animation, but in the parks. He was doing all of this not for the bottom line, but to create the best experience possible for his customers, for his viewers. And I feel like what Bob Paycheck is doing right now is lip service to that. But if you look at his actions, they're doing something completely different. I mean, the average family, I think they're darn close to the average family not being able to afford to go to Disney, period, let alone the Star Wars Hotel.
Oh, you're not kidding me. I mean, I know how much I spend on going to Disney. It is not chump change.
Right.
Even when I'm like, all right, even if I stay, and it all depends. So there's different tiering of the hotels, right? So you get a value, a moderate, or a deluxe resort. And it all depends on what the plan is. If I plan on staying at the hotel most of the time, I'll bump up. I'll go to a moderate. We haven't done a deluxe resort yet, but we probably will here in the next couple of years. I mean, if we can, if they got a second mortgage on the house to do it. But, that's just kind of where we go. If we're going to spend most of our time in the parks and doing things, I'm like, all right, it's a freaking hotel room. The hotel room I'm in right now, I mean, it's pretty nice. I'm on the end of a building. I got a living room over here, got a walkway, a hallway, and a bathroom over there, and a bedroom way down on the end there. I mean, and I'm overlooking right behind me. You can't see it. I was really hoping that you guys would be able to see. But right behind me is the building, and the Buffalo Sabres play the hockey. Yeah. You just right over there. But to get the lighting, I had to.
Of course.
we couldn't turn that light off, or I'd be like Two-Face and all shadowy over here and nothing over there. So
that happens.
That's just how it worked out. But so yeah, it's just the I think you're right. I think their aim is it, and we said this early on in this. Walt Disney World has changed, or Disneyland, Disney in general has changed from the family vacation to a luxury destination.
Right, and that's fine.
It is not something that the general families are going to be able to go out and do.
Right, and that's fine if that's what they want to go for. But
be honest about it.
But be honest.
Don't tell me you're worried about storytelling excellence, that you're worried about the innovation, and that you're worried about listening to your customers, because you're not doing any of the three. Show me one thing. Show me one thing coming from Pixar, because I hope all of you guys out there go and look into this stuff. It's not just don't take my word for it. Go look at it. Go look at what they're doing at Pixar right now. And then, you talked about Disney's innovation, Walter Elias Disney himself. Go, if you get a chance, go to ladies and gentlemen, we have a new beer.
I'm drinking Hazy Jane Mango.
Ooh. I do like a good mango.
It's fine. I prefer a citrus IPA if I'm going to have like a fruity IPA. The mango, it has the mango flavor, but it falls a little flat as far as that just extra little tweak of flavor that you'd expect from like a citrus IPA. You know what I mean?
Citrus.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah. It's good,
yep.
but I think their Elvis juice is better.
Oh yeah.
As far as
the Elvis juice is so hard to beat, though.
It is.
The Elvis juice is so hard to beat. So anyway, as I was saying before we cracked into the other beer there, cheers to you, Mr. mango beer drinking fruit guy.
Mango fruity beer guy. That's what I'm now known as. Thank you.
Yeah. Mango. Yeah. So if anybody remembers those Bud Light commercials, that's where that came from. Anyway, if you find yourself the opportunity, go to San Francisco, California. There you'll find the Disney Family Museum.
Oh, okay.
Go through there. They actually have the multi-plane camera that they use to shoot films like Bambi to get the depth in their shots.
Yeah, I've seen it. That's a good setup.
It's literally shot from the top, and then they're putting multi-planes of all this stuff in to literally give it multi-planes. It's the original multiverse.
Yeah, they use panes of painted glass.
Painted glass.
So if you look at the old school Disney classics, and it looks like there's the different layers of animation going over each other. First of all, Walt Disney invented that. Second of all, when you actually see it in action, these planes of glass, like these long planes of glass, that they actually slowly slide across each other to create that depth of field, and they're moving. Like, it's amazing to see it. And think somebody
it's crazy.
hand painted those.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, hand painted them. And it is so not just for that. I mean, the whole experience going out there to that museum is quite cool. And then as soon as you're done with that, you run up the road to Napa and go to Castello di Amorosa. Tell them David sent you, and you try the La Fantasia La Fantasia wine, and you're gonna be good. Speaking of wine, before we get into our final topic, we actually get to our topic tonight, which we do have one. It is now 7:22, which is more appropriate for our time frame and stuff here. Did I send you a picture? So I sent a picture. I'll try to throw it up on the screen here. So everywhere I go, I meet just people. I am that guy that walks the room, and I love to meet people. So I'm going to throw this over here. Okay. And there we go. That's me in the background chugging a bottle of wine there.
Like you.
And these guys I met, smoking cigars, having some bourbon and whatnot. They make wine.
Do they?
So, and they make it for fun. And they're talking about this, that, and the other. And I said, you know what? You guys sell this. I want to buy a case of this wine. This is freaking, I am not a wine guy. And I'm like, this is a full-bodied wine. And they said, well, one of the things we do is we actually age our wine in bourbon barrels.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
So I'm drinking it. I had multiple glasses of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait. I've actually texted a few of you, a few of our viewers. What's that?
Bring a bottle to Columbus when you come.
Yeah, well, I can't now because they haven't gotten it from them yet, but it'll probably be next week or so. The next time I come, I will bring a bottle of it. But I'm actually going to ship out to a few of our viewers. I've already texted. If you've already got a text from me saying, hey, I met some guys, because I want your feedback on this, because the moment they told me about it and where they do this is just outside of the Adirondacks. So, Dave being Dave, and speaking of himself in the third person, maybe even the fourth person there. I'm not even sure how the math works out on that. But anyway, I looked and said, Adirondacks at a Windax. So immediately went and bought at a Windax on GoDaddy. So we own at a Windax, and I'm setting it up for these guys so that we can start a business for them.
So
on it.
Are you telling me that you are starting a vineyard with these guys?
Well, I'm helping them start their business. They're already doing it. I want to help them start their business and grow it. And they have our cards. They might be watching right now. So if you guys are in here, peace. It's a great time. There was Tony, and then there was a Stu, Tony, and then Steve and Steve. And then the guy who actually makes the wine, I think his name was Michael. And anybody who knows me knows I'm absolute pot at names. It's not my forte. As a salesman, you really think that would be a strong point with me, but I remember many other details before I'll remember a name. But I really tried hard to remember those guys' names. And but in this same thing is the week prior, I'm over there doing the same thing, and we found some guys who wanted to start a podcast, which is why we did our show last week on beginning a podcast.
Yeah,
and we're going to continue on that and try to help people build and develop, because that's kind of what Wes and I. That's kind of what we do.
Right. Well, where we all started here with this show is helping to grow and develop small businesses and to help them get out there and market themselves. And you ran out. You got a refill.
I'm cool. You continue.
But yeah, so that's how we started. So it's actually exciting that that you're doing the legwork to actually meet these people on the street to develop these things. And look, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If they're starting a vineyard, I wouldn't mind being partial owner of a vineyard. I've kind of always wanted to do that. So I do have it on good authority that Ohio has some great grape growing areas. I'm just saying.
If you're saying what I think you're saying, I'm not against it. Actually, in the place that we originally we were slated to come out, look at, it had 3.5, 4, 5 acres of land with it. And I had planned it was over in Albany, New York. I had planned to put rows of vines in to make my own wine.
You could grow a lot
of wine
on 3 acres. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like 5.5 acres, something like that. It was a decent. It had a pole barn and everything, man. So, man,
do I sense
so many? I could have put a lot of kegs in that.
Do I sense an Underdog vineyards coming up soon?
I'm thinking, let's take that one bottle at a time. But I'm not going to say
I think you take wine one bottle at a time, and I've seen where that leads us.
There are no pictures, sir. There are no pictures. So, on to our topic tonight. I'm going to move over to that. So, here's a cool thing is, I've got my ice bucket, which has kind of become my staple on how I set my screens up here with the camera being in the right angle. But now I've got my iPad, my little iPad Pro majigger here, which shockingly enough, both the iPad and my computer run the same processor. So they basically the same damn thing, slightly different operating systems.
Basically.
Yeah. So now I can keep the agenda here. And for those of you who like Dave's rambling, unfortunately, I have to rein that in. So we're going to try to keep Dave from going off on random ass tangents all the time.
That's why we love it. If you're rambling, that's
so. I mean, dead set. Come visit me at Hofbräu House on Friday night. I don't care where you are in the world. You need to travel. Go over there and see it. Literally going table to table, saying hi, making sure everybody's having a good time. Just because I enjoy greatly putting a smile on somebody's face. And it's if there a little serious moment here with David. If you have the ability to put a smile on somebody's face, do it.
Hey, Bob Page,
like this beer.
To heart.
Like this beer. This beer has the ability to put a smile on my face. And it's about to do it.
Look, or a vineyards or wine has much the same effect. I'm just saying.
Yes. So there was actually some viewers early in our. I can see the stuff on my mustache right there. It's good stuff. With a smile on my face. So there were some viewers back when we started that really wanted us to start reviewing some wine, and I think it's about time for us to give it a crack.
Wine.
I think it's about time for us to give it a crack.
Why not,
sir? WordPress versus Wix.
Right
tonight on the Underdog Journey. WordPress versus Wix. Who will take the title?
Right. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to run through some of the quick differences between WordPress and Wix. And then live, we're actually going to build a website and publish it and show you it's just that easy. But I got to tell you, before we do that, we actually have a live studio audience with us.
Oh, Dewey, excellent.
Guys,
this is one of the highlights of my week. I love saying hi to these two.
And they're trying. My other one's trying to catch the cat. Hey, I think she's going to get away, buddy.
I think I'd let her get away. Otherwise, you might get swatted.
No, he got her. No.
What's happening? What's happening, little one? Are you feeling better? I know you were a little under the weather.
Oh, we got all three of them here.
We got a kitty cat.
We got a kitty cat.
I know. The kitty cat was introduced on the Underdog Journey a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's super cool. What's her name?
What's the cat's name?
Roxy or Roxanne?
Roxanne.
No, Roxy or
Roxy.
Oh, Roxy or Roxanne.
Oh, okay.
The cat's trying to get away now.
She's trying to escape. You want to put her down?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you put her down?
You know, that's kind of what cats like to do.
That's what they do.
They like to escape. Yeah.
I want to hold the cat.
Well, back in the day, just a few weeks ago, before the cat, they would love to come down and say hi to David, and today they just don't care.
No, they got
the power of a cat.
Hey, careful with that cat. They're gonna kill that cat. Hey, be careful. That cat's head will pop right off. Be careful. And they're laughing. They think I'm joking. Hey, you guys, be careful.
Well, they hope you're joking, and the rest of the viewership hopes you're joking too.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Hey, guys. Hey, the cat's running away. Okay.
All right, come over and say hi. Come over and say goodnight.
Hey, come say goodnight to Dave.
Night, Dave. Night, David.
Good night. I'm glad to see that you're doing a lot better and feeling a lot better.
Yeah,
no pictures of demon. Go ahead.
No pictures of demon spiders. He has actually been making a spider army though. He's building a spider army. So he's hey Lachlan. He's gone. So he's been drawing these spiders, and he has a couple dozen of these spiders now that he's been drawing. He's building an army. So when he takes over the world, don't be surprised. Hey, can you go get us one of your spider drawings? He's building
I want to see a whole army.
An army of these things.
A drone is an army. So I seen one of those the meme things on the internets because I'm cool and hip like that.
Like you do.
And there's some people out there in a boat, and there was these ants coming. I was like, oh no, it's Navy ants instead of Army ants.
Hilarious.
I thought that was okay. So here we go. Hold it up.
So these are his.
There we go.
So you have a bunch of these things. Are you building a spider?
Oh,
tell us about
your spider army. Looks, you know what? I want to pet that.
Don't you? I like the teeth. That's a good. He has the right number of eyes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I made one.
Even at Christmas.
Hey, so tell us about this army you're building.
It's an army of these spiders.
An army of these spiders.
And soon I'm gonna unleash them and take over the world.
You heard it from him first. He's gonna unleash them and take over the world.
I'm building an army of them.
I think it's time for us all to stay on Lachlan's good side.
It's true. Future supervillain here.
Yes, it is. Him, and my daughter would. They are a power duo right there.
I have a feeling. Hey, you guys go now. Hey guys, leave the cat alone.
Good night. The good news is we were at the very beginning of the Wix versus WordPress, so it should be pretty easy for us to pick up. But
interesting,
it actually really is one of the highlights. I love those kids coming down, and when they say goodnight and everything, it's a great time. So
they're good.
They are a little scary, the boy, but
it's like I said, future supervillain. I think he's a Slytherin at heart. We might have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you identified that, so 2 points to Hufflepuff.
My current wife is the Hufflepuff. No, she.
I think I might be.
She wants to be a Hufflepuff. She's proud of this.
Oh, she wants to be a Hufflepuff.
Yes.
No, it's a fierce and loyal friend, which is how Dumbledore explained it, which I would absolutely own your wife at a Harry Potter trivia, by the way.
All right.
And one of these days, we're going to get drunk and prove this. I could do it. I could beat her drunk.
We're gonna have this trivia night, and you're both gonna get beat by some random 12-year-old girl. It's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
Not a prayer. All right. Not a prayer. So just, we're on this topic now. We haven't really started the other one. So we got to go to this real quick. Just the other day, my son thought he would be able to take me on at a Big Bang Theory trivia.
Oh, there's no way.
And it was everybody else against me. That's how trivias normally go. And I think I beat them by plus 20. By plus 20. Again, I have a terrible time with name, but situations, concepts, and environment, my brain just grasps all of that. I don't know.
It was a great show.
It's a talent. But there we go. So, WordPress versus Wix. We're going to talk about a bit of a difference, and we're getting ready to launch it. So it's 7:35. I think it's about time for us to really get into the meat and potatoes of our show tonight. For everybody who joined in, And for specifically the people who I've texted out to, and definitely the person who came back and said, you know what? I don't have the know-how. I don't have the wherewithal. I don't know if I got the time to learn this. Well, guess what? We're about to take all those excuses away. Let's go.
Right. So here's the thing. So I think everybody who's ever thought about starting a business or going off and doing their own thing, even just something for fun, you need a website. And everybody knows this, but most people don't have the expertise, don't have developing background. They don't know where to start, right?
I'm sorry, sir. Do you write in HTML3 or HTML4?
Well, if I'm working on a website, I prefer HTML5.
None of us effing know. We don't know. I don't have a fucking clue.
The average person doesn't know. And
sorry, we'll have to edit that out.
And the average person shouldn't know. But here's the thing.
Exactly.
You don't know. Most people don't know where to start. You'll see TV commercials that talk about GoDaddy or Wix or this platform or that platform. And you're like, it doesn't... These things don't mean anything to me. I don't know what any of it means.
Yeah.
So... how good are they? Where do you start? Well, basically, you have two schools here. You have the couple of platforms that don't require any background at all. And they're great, but they have some trade-offs. You don't have quite as much control. They're not as 100% solid for certain aspects as others. And then you have others that require some technical expertise. But they're platforms that are going to be a lot more solid if you want to very easily expand in the future. Big companies can use WordPress to develop, Sony, actually, a couple of their websites are built on WordPress. What are you going to say here?
Yeah, there's some pretty big names out there that use WordPress. But I was saying is you will actually find this is true with what Wes is saying over there. It's a trade-off of ease of use,
right?
To custom. I'm gonna say it like this: ease of use to customization,
right?
So if it's really easy to use, it has to be really easy to use. Means it's base templates, bam, bam, bam. You change some words, put some images, but the flow and the feel, that's what you got.
Right.
A little more tech savvy, and you can get a lot more customization out of it.
Right. Absolutely. So there are a lot of different when you're looking at these different platforms. There's a lot of different things that you should consider when going into it. There's SEO capabilities, search engine optimization. Basically, when somebody Googles your website, how easy is it to find? There are things.
Wait a minute. That should have been a trivia moment. Because we've been over SEO. We've went over SEO in depth in the past. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you need to go back in the archives of the Lodge and find those videos and watch those videos. We have talked in depth about search engine optimization and other things that you can get out of and we actually talked about that, but marketing plans about how you utilize those to get the SEO. So continue on, sir.
So there are things like SEO. There are things like e-com functionality, available plugins that you should consider. But to keep the conversation simple, we're really going to focus on ease of use and price. So we're going to keep it as simple as possible for people who are just starting out.
Yes, absolutely. So there was a saying that went around, at Christmas, and I think it's still going around. You'll catch it from time to time, and I actually heard it today. Completely unrelated, right?
Yeah.
So I'm out doing stuff and I'm in front of a whiteboard. And if anybody's ever seen me in front of a whiteboard,
look out.
Because you're about to be buried in technical data, technical wiring, the whole thing. I will design an entire life safety system on a freaking whiteboard with a black Sharpie. All right, the whole thing. And the guy, he comes out, he's like, "Man, that was so easy to follow." And I said, "Yeah, I like to keep it simple." He goes, "Yep. What's that old saying? Keep it simple, stupid."
Yep, the KISS method.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
That's it right there. Keep it simple, stupid.
Well, don't call me stupid, but I do like to keep it simple. So basically, we're going to focus on two. And these two were picked because, in my opinion, they're the two easiest to use that really focus on the difference of ease of use versus available functionality. But they're both super easy to use. We're going to start with WordPress. So WordPress is easily one of the most flexible content management systems you'll ever use. You're going to see the initialism CMS a lot, which is content management system, which is really what all of these are. This platform where you can build a website is a content management system, a CMS. And what WordPress allows you to do is, you literally have thousands of themes pre-built that you can choose from, and set this theme up, you're off to the races. You're up and going that day. And you can literally build any kind of website on the WordPress platform. You can build countdown sites. You can build e-com sites, a blog, anything you want from these available free themes. Sorry, go ahead. You need a refill there.
I'm short of my beer. So last week, if you guys remember, I actually spilled some beer on the luckily for me, it was on like the metal part of my MacBook Pro.
Do not spill beer on your MacBook Pro.
MacBook Pro. So this week I'm holding that stuff back here, and I'm almost out there. But I agree. The two sites that we're talking about do have these things, and we're going to delve into the WordPress first. And go over a little bit of those. So which site are we selecting to actually launch a page off of, or a site off of tonight?
Well, so I'm going to go through some minor differences between WordPress and Wix first, and then we're actually going to build a website from scratch, and we're going to publish it on Wix.
On Wix, okay.
Yes.
So the other day, just as a preface into this, I built a website off of Wix. I mean, literally within minutes. I didn't change anything. I didn't do any customization I could have.
Yes.
I did it within minutes.
And how much website development background do you have?
Well, none.
Exactly.
It is not what I do. It is not in my wheelhouse. It's not what I did. But I built one and I published it, and they sent me a thing saying, "Hey, you can visit it here." But we have selected with Wes and I, we're going to do one more because we're actually going to be launching the Simply Life Safety website on a different platform than this because of capabilities.
Right.
The way that we're launching Simply Life Safety. So we're going to be doing that here over the next few weeks. And we're going to show you guys that. We're going to go step by step. Now, I'm not giving you guys my credit card information. You guys don't hold your breath for that. But it'll be here, and we're going to show you guys how to do it. And I don't expect our viewers to go rush over, hey, I want to join this website, because it's literally going to be life safety and fire alarm training. It is absolutely a niche market. And I've already got people that are gung-ho saying, David, if it's you, I want every one of my people, even if they've been here for 20 years, to take this class.
I told you that 2 years ago, David.
Yes, I know.
I did. Word.
I know.
So just to put this into context.
Let's bring up WordPress. Let's go into WordPress.
All right. So WordPress, like I said, thousands of themes, literally build any kind of website. Unfortunately, though, with WordPress, you do need a little bit of a technical background, only because there's a little bit of learning curve to develop your site and really take full advantage of what the full capabilities that WordPress offers you. It's a super powerful tool, but it's a little bit of a learning curve. It takes some time to get in there and dig in and play with it. However, some pre-built themes, actually some like third-party themes that you can buy, and you can get these pretty cheap for $50. I can name off a handful of these things that have drag and drop capabilities as far as the ability.
I'm sorry. I've got to go old guy here on you. I've got my old guy outfit on.
Hey,
we're ready to go with this.
Don't tell me about old guys.
Do you remember a website called MySpace, where you could drag and drop HTML code in and change the theme in the thing of your screen?
Well, so now look.
And for those of you,
yeah,
I'm just saying, for those of you guys who don't understand it, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Literally copy paste. You bring it in a certain area, you paste it in there, and that functionality becomes live. And for what was you saying? I'm sorry, your Tony Stark mustache and beard is distracting.
I know. I look like the guy who failed to deliver your pizza in 30 minutes or less. I don't have good facial hair. And
so
remember I told you I look like Joe Dirt.
Wes is growing it out.
Remember I told you I look like Joe Dirt when I grow facial hair because that's literally all I can grow.
Yes.
I'm working with what I got here. It's not good.
Hey, you got to keep on. You got to keep on keeping on, right? That's what I'm saying. You got to keep on keeping on.
Exactly.
That's a space peanut.
So yeah, so it's I'm seeing where it goes. It's not going any place I like though. So we'll see what happens.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
All right.
I mean, put you in an Iron Man suit and you're Tony Stark.
No, you know what I need? I need to call up my actual brother and get a big old hunk of chaw to stick in my lip that I can spit into a Mountain Dew bottle, and it's gonna be a good look for me.
Oh, I bet he's thrilled to have you as a brother tonight. Anyway,
he doesn't watch this, so it's fine.
Are we? So we talked a little bit about the WordPress and some of the things you can do with it. Is there anything else that we want to go over? I think there actually is in the WordPress, in the WordPress, right?
Well, not necessarily.
Talk about drag and drop.
So by drag and drop, you mentioned MySpace. Now with MySpace, yes, you could drag in chunks of HTML, but with some of these third-party themes for WordPress, you can actually drag and drop content blocks and move certain actual pieces of content around. However, that's with a premium theme that you might have to pay $50 for. However, with Wix, we're moving on to Wix. Wix actually has that native to their platform. So Wix is by far the easiest website builder I've ever used. It's almost so easy.
I agree.
It's almost so easy. It feels like cheating for somebody who actually has a website development background. Like, I'm not even joking.
Wait.
Anybody watching this, I promise you.
It's so easy.
I promise you, if your
even
grandma,
a caveman can do it.
Everybody, look, I promise you, if your grandma has a laptop and internet connection, she can develop a fully developed.
She can build a website on Wix.
E-com website on Wix. It's nuts.
E-com, yes. She could sell mothball scented crochet candle holders online using the Wix.
She could sell.
It is literally that simple.
Yeah, she could sell her knitted. I don't know.
I've already used the crochet. Come up with your own analogy.
All right. She could sell her. She could sell her canned jellies and
golf balls for the walkers.
Her canned jellies and jams, or her 100-year-old recipe for goulash on her Wix website.
I'm actually quite interested in these jellies and jams at the moment.
All I can think of is stuff that my mom makes because she kind of makes the same stuff my grandma does.
Oh, and that's why she leaves us frowny faces.
It's true.
Because you talk about her like she's freaking 100 years old.
Well, look, Mom, if you're watching, don't leave us a frowny face, but do send me some of your jams because they're amazing.
No. He's talking about being 100 years old. You send me the jellies and jams.
Well, look. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm a terrible son.
Which one of us is calling you 100 years old? Which one
I did not say she's 100 years old.
Where you got to go to.
I said she does like to can foods. We might or might not have a ton of canned meat up in our pantry that scares my wife, but looks delicious to me. But Wix,
they have a ton of templates, like literally out the gate.
So they have.
So when you log in and you go to Wix, it's just there. It's there for you to select what you want.
And really good.
You can do. What are the
so
big
they have
you do,
everything. They have everything from blogs to online stores to portfolios. I mean, we're going to run through some of these. Like, you can actually see them.
Yeah,
they're amazing. So it's also, super easy to jump into and start editing because, like I said, built in from step one. Well, step two after you tell it what kind of website you want. Drag and drop functionality on the template that you choose from the get-go.
On a side, just a real quick side note about Facebook, because we've talked about it quite a bit about how they change algorithms and how they do stuff. On the mobile app, as an admin, it actually shows us who's watching. Now, unfortunately, tonight I'm not running it up on my
it's funny
normal screen, so I can't see.
And it's funny, that's on the mobile app, but it's not on the desktop.
Yeah. So in order to operate this, I'm running the Samsung Galaxy Fold 3, the iPad Pro, and a MacBook Pro over here tonight, just to run this cast tonight. So it's saying, hey, do you want to listen to music? No, I don't want to listen to music. Today, here's one of those tangents for those of you guys who are keeping track of the number of tangents. Today, I'm listening to Metallica, and Fat Finger Dave reaches over and I'm freaking grooving out. It was the bass solo.
Is his rock name
with Cliff Burton.
When he starts a band, that's gonna be his rock name. Fat Finger Dave.
Yes. Yeah, Fat Finger Dave. That's what she said.
This is
so it was a bass solo from Metallica with Cliff Burton. And they're going on it, and I am just, my head's not been in a great space. And this comes on, and I am freaking into it. And then the next thing comes on is like this Beatles something or other.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm listening to it. I'm about halfway through, maybe a quarter way into it, about halfway, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute. How in the nine hells did I get the Beatles? Well,
because the Beatles are amazing. They
turns out
playlist.
Fat Finger Dave had clicked the button because I was like, ooh, I like that. And I'm driving, 75, 80, 90 miles an hour down the freeway. And I just look over and I'm like, oh, I like that. And apparently had queued up a whole entire Beatles station. And it had been it started playing. So it went from that song to another song to another song to another song. And I'm sitting there going, what did I do? But
the Beatles are amazing.
You live, you learn.
Playlist.
That's where the Fat Finger Dave came in, was the fact that I tried to like a Metallica song and ended up switching and going, no, let's listen to the Beatles instead.
Look, I can see,
which I was okay with. It was good.
I can easily switch between Metallica and the Beatles, just because they're both ridiculously amazing.
Until they give me Blackbird, I get it. I get that a lot of people like it.
All Beatles.
It's not for me.
I didn't say all Beatles, but.
All right, so I think it's time for us to shut up and put up, or shut up or put up. I don't know. How's that? One of you younger kids who know how these kids talk, shut up or put up. I think it is. It's time for us to launch this website. Let's go.
Well,
let's get into it.
So you don't want to cover prices before we get into that?
Nope, because price should not be a factor to you. Okay, none of these costs. No. None of these costs are until you get to the what do they call it? Enterprise. Until you get to the enterprise pricing tier, the prices are so competitive and so similar that it shouldn't matter. You're going to be able to get certain ones of it for free. You're going to be able to get certain ones of it for $10 a month, certain ones are $15 a month, certain ones of it for $25 a month. Bottom line, that's how it goes. So if you're splitting hairs at this stage, perhaps you need to rethink of what you're doing.
Fair. That's actually a fair point.
Don't get so stuck up on that.
That's a fair
not
point.
what you need to be stuck on. There are many other places for you to fall into the trap of cost versus all this stuff. Now's not the time to do it.
All right, fair point. I'll give you points on that one. Okay.
Of course I'm right. Wes,
well, look,
to be a very smart person. If I were wrong, don't you think I'd know it?
Look, I'll tell you why I'm hesitant to say you're 100% right. Okay, so
I've been managing from the Big Bang Theory. In case you guys didn't catch that,
I have been managing my personal clients since college. So one of the things that I pride myself on is giving my clients the ability, even though some of them might be very, very small fish in a very big pond, the ability to play the same game as the big kids at a rock bottom price on a shoestring budget.
Yes.
They should have the exact same functionality.
Absolutely. Which is kind of what you and I talked about when we founded this.
Right, as the big kids. And so in my opinion, especially with working with some very small startups, every dollar counts. And although some companies I do come in and say, look, for the prices you're quoting me, you're not going to be able to do anything. And you know exactly a couple of the people I'm talking about, David. So
a handful of them we've reviewed together.
So went
over and
Do you know that I've said this? But at the same time,
Yeah.
I personally do feel that price does count. Now, it is also a trade-off of you might pay a little bit more for slightly better functionality over here. So it's kind of a similar trade-off to ease of use versus more tight functionality. But price also plays into that. I would say a Venn diagram, man, I love Venn diagrams. What you want is something that is the optimal of price, ease of use, and functionality, which is right in that center of the Venn diagram is right where you want
to. Wait. I'm going to give you a single word. I'm going to give you one word that covers that. And that word is, take a drink of your beer, sir. Take a drink, a long drink. I'm going to take a drink of my beer.
Radio silence, okay?
Value. That word is value.
Right.
When something is of value, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's cheap, but you can pay a lot of money for something. And, being the fat guy that I am, I love to reference food on this. So I go to McDonald's and I get a burger for, I don't know how much is a burger. I have no idea. $2, $3, whatever it is. To me, it's a terrible value.
Okay.
But I will go drop $80 or $130, and I have actually went up as high as $200 on a single steak. And that steak was in Marco Island in Florida. It was a 120-day age, dry aged steak.
Okay.
I mean, that steak must have started off this big and then shrunk down. And it was.
Uh-oh, you froze. Oh, and David's frozen. I think we lost him. Did we lose him?
There's only one steak that's ever been done.
We lost you. We lost. Hey, David, we lost you. We lost you where you said the steak shrunk from this down to this. What happened to the steak? I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What happened? Well, I ate that effing steak.
How was it?
But it was delicious. But that value to me, that $200, even though I spent many, many, many times more than I would have spent for a McDonald's cheeseburger or hamburger or whatever, to me, that value was there because of all of it. And you and I, we've been to, and we have a kind of a rule that when we go to this, the Hyde Park, we all kind of all take care of ourselves. It's never, any sharing or splitting of checks or any of that. And to me, that's a value because of the environment and everything everything I get with it. With that $3 burger, it's most likely been sitting in there for a minute and most likely has nothing to do with me and most likely is wrong for the way I ordered it. So value doesn't necessarily mean it's a low cost. And that's one of the things people need to look at is the opportunity cost. And that's actually a show we should do is actually an in-depth dive on what opportunity cost is. And I think that would help out go a long way for people to understand that just because something's cheap doesn't mean it's a great value. If it's inexpensive and still doesn't fill the need that you have,
which is why I explained
that's a waste of money.
Which is why I explained the Venn diagram of the website of price, functionality, and ease of use. Because all of these things play a factor too. Because here's something that I've run into. I personally like to build websites when I have a client. So I don't actually build websites for a lot of my clients. But when I do, I don't always build websites for my clients. But when I do, I usually use WordPress because I like the functionality.
The most boring man in the world.
I don't always. Hey, thank you. That's good. That was good.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help. You literally were like, here, I'm going to volley this up. I couldn't help myself. There was just absolutely, yeah.
That was good.
You know what's been in my head. Actually know what's been in my head the last few days. So you throw something up in the air, I'm hitting it.
That's true. I get it. But look, so I usually build the websites on WordPress because that's the platform I like to use. I personally find it to be easy to use. I like the functionality. I like the expandability of a WordPress site. But sometimes when you pass a WordPress website off to a client and they're like, you know what? Okay, I'll take care of it from here. I'm like, are you sure? Because there's some back-end stuff that you got to take care of on a regular basis. Oh, I got this. And then guess what? 6 months later, I get a phone call. Hey, I broke something. Okay. At which time I can then go in and fix it because, I stand by my work and my clients. But the thing is, I find that sometimes what they want and what they ask for are two different things, and you got to consider that when you're building a website, especially when you're thinking about what content management system, what platform to build a website on. But that being said, I think Wix is a great place to start, easily the easiest platform, and I promise you, everybody watching or listening, watch the video on this because we're about to build a website and publish it in a matter of minutes. It's that easy.
Yep, it's 8 o'clock on the button.
Yes.
So let's start it right now because we have a pretty good mark against. It's 8 o'clock. We're going to go and build a Wix website literally in minutes. And this is how easy it can be. Jeff Leffingwell made a comment, I don't know how long ago because of the delays that we have, but the idea, go ahead and continue what you're doing. Don't wait on me. I'll shut up when you start doing stuff. But Jeff said, most times you get what you pay for.
Yeah, it's true. And he's right. Jeff Leffingwell, you're absolutely right. I already put this up on the screen, but you're 100% right. You get what you pay for. And I'll tell you what, the platforms that we're talking about today, WordPress and Wix, they're, like David said, they're pretty comparable in price. One will be a little higher here, a little lower there, based on what you actually want to do with the website. But basically speaking, they're pretty comparable. And even though these aren't free platforms for the functionality we're talking about today, they're low enough.
Yeah.
I feel like almost anybody can afford this, especially if you want to start building an online store.
Yeah. If you're wanting to do a business, there should not be a price blockade for you on this. The price of the site and the ease of use of this site is not what should be stopping you.
Yeah. So look, we're gonna start with WordPress, and it's easily the simplest website to get up and running in a matter of minutes.
Wait, no, we're not in WordPress. We're in Wix.
I'm sorry, Wix.
We're in Wix.
Yes, Wix. So Wix,
WordPress actually has some more customization to it, which it's
we'll
the trade-off.
We'll get into that.
You want to do more of this?
Yeah,
and we will. But right here, Wix. It's 8:02 now, and roll them.
So when you go to Wix.com, this is basically where you're going to land. Very easy front end page. It shows you some of the functionality. If I think what they're thinking here is by the time you actually go to Wix.com, you kind of know that you've seen the TV commercials. You know what they offer. You know it's an easy content management system for your website. I'm not going to enter my email address here. You don't need to see my private information. So I have an account queued up here. So basically, once you build an account, you now have the option to build a free website. At this point, I have not entered any credit card information. I've not given them any payments. This is all free at this point. So I'm going to show you what happens when you try and build a website from scratch. Super easy. So we're going to hit this button here, create new site. And from here, it's actually going to ask me a few questions. Once it loads up, it's going to say, and you can also skip all of this stuff. But for Grandma Jones out there who wants to sell her crocheted pot holders, we're gonna answer all these questions because average Joe is probably gonna also answer these simple questions. We're gonna say we want to start an online store. So, online store.
Or if you're in Colorado, you could be your Grandma Jay could be her pot sales.
Or let's say I don't think marijuana sales is on here. However, hit online store. You can also get very specific. What kind of online store do I want? Let's actually go down and say I want online pet supply.
There's a plant, right? I think there's a tobacco. I think there's a plant store. I mean, there's a lot there.
Tobacco store.
There's just tons. Wix makes it so easy for you to create a quality, not just create a website, but to create a quality website that there's absolutely no reason. There's a running store.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that up there.
Psychic store.
Ooh, a chocolate store. Oh, dude. Fat Guy approved chocolate store. Psychic store. They knew I was going to talk about the Fat Guy chocolate store. Piano. Tuxedo. freaking tuxedo store. Come on now. I love tuxedos.
Let's see.
Right? We all have tuxedos. How many tuxedos you have, Wes?
I actually do have a pretty nice tuxedo.
Yeah. I mean, I've got multiple tuxedos. It all depends on what level I was or how fat I was when I bought said tuxedo.
You know, the funny thing, I actually have the tuxedo that I married my current wife in, and I still fit in that tuxedo. Go figure.
Screw you and the horse you rode in.
So let's say we're going to build a website.
Let's fire one up.
We're going to build a website we're going to build a website for Underdog Bones here. So we're going to say I
like what you're saying to me. All the words are good.
I want an online pet supply store. So I'm going to hit that, and we're going to hit next. And by the way, you can also skip all of this if you wanted to. But now it's going to say, what do you want to add to your website? I want an online e-com functionality, e-commerce. I want an
online store.
I want a chat function. Let's say I also want forms. I want an email subscribe form. Let's say I want that. And there's other stuff you can have on here too. I'd like to have a blog. I would like to have.
You need pricing plans, right? You need music, right? We need to. Yeah. Who's a cool hip person these days? Is it Nelly? Tell me it's Nelly.
It's Nelly Furtado. It's Frank Sinatra Jr.
Oh, dude. Well, you had me until you said Junior. But
exactly.
I am actually I actually love Frank Sinatra, by the way. I mean, that is old Blue Eyes himself. That is music.
Send it clowns, man.
Well, that's where I come in.
Exactly. So look, let's say you have
right here. I mean, this is how easy it is. So if you want to do bookings, events, videos, food orders,
music, let's say you have a
menus, you literally just have to check a box.
Yeah, food. Let's say you have a food truck, food orders, bookings, all kinds of stuff. But let's say this is what I want here. These 4 pieces of functionality. I'm gonna hit next.
Yeah.
And it says, let's see, let Wix ADI create a website for you, or create a website with the editor. You know what? I don't really. It can create a website for me. I want to build a website.
Wait. We're not website creators. We're not website creators.
Okay.
Let's let Wix do it.
Let
Wix do it for us.
All right. Well, this is going a different direction.
Let's let Wix do it for us.
This is a different direction I was thinking, but let's say start now. Let's let.
Wait. You should put up a better argument to take us back to the other if you've already planned that.
What?
I said you should put up an argument to take us onto the edited template.
Well, so I want a template specifically so I can demonstrate some of the functionalities of how to customize the website the way that you want it.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's do we want Wix to build the website for us, or do we want to demonstrate some of the functionalities of how easy it is to change this website to be exactly what we want? And again, we can publish both within a matter of minutes. That's not an option.
You know what? I like your train of thought on this. I really do. I like your train of thought of this. Let's edit a template, because this is the more complicated. And I still believe that anybody who's watching this episode can edit that template.
This is the more complicated.
So let's go the more complicated.
And we're going to show you how easy it is. So we're going to go with the most complicated of the two. Create and edit your own website. So we're going to hit edit a template.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, you can visit us at www.youporn.com.
No. However, I do believe Jenny's Pleasure Bus is watching right now.
Jenny's Pleasure Bus. For all your Pleasure Bus needs, join Jenny.
Hilarious. So
where are we at here?
So this is where it lets us choose the template. Now, here's why I wanted to show this versus it building a website for us.
Ooh, I like it.
Because before, it wanted to build the website for us. It wanted to choose the template. It wanted to choose the layout. Here, we get to choose the template. And
I like all the things you're saying.
There are some really good templates happening here.
So I really like the first template until I see the second template, and I'm like, ooh. And the third template, I'm like, it's okay.
And here's
then I see the pet care template kind of in the middle.
There are 35 pages. But here's the great thing.
35 pages of pet food oriented templates that you can select from.
Right.
And I love what I see on one. So
here,
what would you select for here real quick?
Here's the great thing. Before you choose a template, don't feel like you're locked in. Here's what you can do. Hit view.
Yeah.
I want to view this template. I don't necessarily want to use it, but I want to see what it's going to look like when I go there. You know what? I don't want to edit this site yet.
Right.
I just want to check.
If I'm going to go on Jenny's Pleasure Bus, I want to see what it looks like before I go there.
You don't want to be blindsided by a poorly designed pleasure bus.
That's right.
Or e-com shop.
You know, a poorly designed pleasure bus really just turns you off. It's just the way it goes.
And nobody wants to be turned off.
That's how it is.
Nobody wants to be turned off by a pleasure bus. So
that's right. That defeats the option of a pleasure bus.
So this is actually going to give you the view of what this website's going to look like before you start editing it. And it's actually pre-built. All of the imagery here is free to use because it's part of the template that is yours now.
Yeah.
The menu is pre-built, but you can change all of this, and we'll show you how. And best thing is, most people, I'm not sure if most people have considered this or not, but when you look at a web,
because I don't know. I'm literally going to play sales guy here and say that 90% of your personnel are going to activate this from a mobile platform, not a desktop platform.
And you knew exactly where I was going. So most people probably haven't considered this. When you look at a website on your laptop or tablet versus your phone, the layout of the website is going to change. That's called a dynamic layout. And that it's built to specifically optimize itself for the dimensions of your device. Now, here's the great thing. I can see what this website looks like here, or hit this little button up here, and I can see what it's going to look like on a mobile phone, which is awesome. And that's exactly what you want, because nothing gives a worse experience than looking at a poorly designed mobile website. I hate a poorly designed mobile website.
So, yes, there are certain websites that I have become so familiar with on the desktop version that I specifically scroll. I don't care what their mobile version looks like. Boom, boom, boom. I go down, I say, I want the desktop version because that's what I'm familiar with. Other sites I go to, and I don't know if you guys know this, but on a dynamic website, you have the option to be able to do that. In this case right here, this is a template that's thrown together that has that option for you. You can see what it's going to look like on a desktop, and you can see what it's going to look like on a mobile application as well. And one of the things that you guys need to also know is, and it's one of the things we talked about early in one of our shows, you can go back and watch it. We actually got cut off on that show because we talked about big data. Wes is remembering this one all of a sudden. But when you tie into a website, there are certain pieces of data that are automatically shared. If you're sharing from an Android, or if you are one of those weirdos that prefer an iPhone, then it shares that information. It actually shares the revision of iOS or Android that you're using, because it's trying to optimize the site for you. So there's a lot of things about that transmission of data between like a desktop site, and even on the desktop, it's still going to say, are you using, like Wes and I both use Macs. Both of us have MacBook Pro. Both of us use MacBook Pro with XYZ OS X. For those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, that would be like, I'm using Windows XP Service Pack 2. Yeah. And it will tell you, and it exchanges that amount of data for it. And you have no control over that part of it. It is the interaction of the operating system with the website that determines what they see. So that sounded ridiculously complicated. Dave, you said a lot of words in a little bit of time. The bottom line is, you don't have to think about this. Wix has already done it for you, which is why we say keep it simple, stupid. And Wix is one of these easiest. It is the easiest platform to bring forth your ideas, right? In a very, very professional manner.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So let's say I like this first one. Let's say I want this website and I want this to be my e-com site for for Underdog Bones, for my pet supply company.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit. I want to edit this site. It's thinking. It's building this into my account. It's building this website for me. It takes a minute. It gives you this fun little animation to look at while it's happening.
And while it's doing that, I'm going to proclaim this 64 ounces of beer cash.
Oh no! You need to room service another mini.
I might have to room service, another 64 ounces of beer because it's one of those days, weeks. I won't say months, but one of those days, one of those weeks, definitely that you just look back and go,
right,
and you grunt like you do.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yes. All right, that wasn't quite manly enough, but we'll allow it. There you go. That's much better.
I need,
all right,
I need more facial hair.
We've got up in your background. We've got some stuff to go over. Let's take a look.
Yeah, all up in your background here. You have your web.
That's what she said.
Exactly, all up in your background now. You got your website. So from here, I can actually go in and edit what this website is going to look like. And the interesting thing is, this is the same website that you saw before, but when you click on stuff or scroll over stuff, you'll notice these neat little boxes popping up around your content. What does that mean? Yeah. Well, here are some interesting things. Let's say obviously
you're about to tell us.
Website besties. I mean, that's weird. So I'm going to name this. I'm going to hit edit text. I'm going to name this Underdog Bones. But oh no, I don't want Underdog Bones to be 2 lines. That's weird. Well, here's what I can do. I can easily drag, I can scroll over this little circle here, and I can drag this out. Now it's going a little slower because my computer's a little bit under
yeah,
I'm working the computer here with this live stream plus doing this.
Yes, I mean we're taxing poor West, and we need to alternate from using your processor to my processor. From time to time, because poor West, and that's why you guys, we've had some people come saying through and say, hey, David's audio is a little clippy and a little off and a little out. It really comes down to we are putting such a demand on West's computer.
What I need a computer for streaming out stuff and a computer to actually work on while I'm streaming. That's what it comes down to.
So. And that's what it comes down to. So I think what will happen in the future is because I'm so flipping gung-ho to get back to Windows that we may do that. The key being I can run my part of the podcast off of make sure there's nothing inappropriate on this screen before I flip it.
Yeah, you might have interesting proclivities that might pop up.
There might be many people who text me immediately like, all right, your ass is mine. So no, this is good. That I could run the vast majority of what we do off of the MacBook. My portion of it. West does, and this is something that we actually should do a show on about the sharing of processing power between multiple platforms. But we're not going to do it tonight. We're going to continue on. I love what you did here. Underdog Bones, 1 line.
Right.
A simple click on the screen, and we're able to drag that out, that box.
Yeah.
That box out wider to fit the nomenclature that we need.
But it goes deeper.
Yes, I use the word nomenclature.
But it goes deeper than that because you notice a weird gap here between this line and the tagline, which you can also edit all of the text by doing the exact same thing. Let's say I want to tighten up this gap here. Here's the great thing about Wix.
And you should. It doesn't look good.
Drag and drop functionality. I literally just click, and I can drag this down as much or as little as I want. Let's say I want it lined up with that neat little paw logo there.
That little paw right there.
Let's say I want this next piece of text. Again, I just click it, and I drag up a little bit, and I want it directly underneath. Look. That looks way better. Now, let's get down to this little area here. Here's the cool thing. Look, I can click on this white box, the text by itself, this button. Let's say I want this button centered under the text. Guess what? Boop, boop. centered. Let's say I want this text moved. I don't want it moved. I'm not going to move it. Let's say I want this white box, the whole thing, text and all. Guess what? I click up here where it all is. Whole thing's outlined. I can have this whole thing centered right there.
Yeah.
And guess what? In WordPress, you actually would have had to go in and maybe not code it, but you would have had to tell it how many pixels in padding and all of the outline data that you wanted, the opacity of
all the spaces,
the background, all
vector,
the spaces.
For those of you who don't understand, vectoring is almost infinite space and infinite depth. And it can get extremely complicated. Wix literally takes that all away. It takes it from AutoCAD. Wait a minute. What's the upgrade from AutoCAD? Autodesk. Revit? Okay. So it takes it from Revit to Microsoft Paint. That simple. It really simplifies everything that you're doing and just really takes the guesswork. I guess it's really the easiest way to say that.
It does.
Takes the guesswork of what you're doing out of it.
Yeah, you can literally...
If you knew nothing, just moving your mouse around the screen, you are going to, by intuition, be able to manipulate what you are seeing, what you are doing, and what you want.
Right. You can literally, as we showed you, click and drag content. It's nuts that you can actually do this on a live site. Now look, let's say, and even something as simple as, that's not my phone number. Well, guess what? I can now change this phone number. I can go up and I can edit this text. So I'm gonna change.
Here, wait a minute. I got your phone number. I'll tell them. Here you go. I'll say it. What's West? But I really should have put in Matt Harmon's phone number and said that on the internet. Oh, let's see, Matt Harmon. Here we go. So you need 614-555-5759. And that's what you need to put in there.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the website is fully upgradable. Fully upgradable.
It is.
It is. Now look,
it is even just simply, and I said this a minute ago, simply by moving your mouse around, you're going to get a feel for that.
Yes.
Underdog Bones, guess what? We're not selling fish food. We're not selling food for your gerbil.
Right. Exactly. So,
it's not our market.
So even something as simple as setting your social media content. You can click down here and say, I want to link this directly to my Facebook page. You'd hit this, you'd click on one of these little social icons, set social media links. This thing is going to pop up. And here's what you do. You click on each one of these. You can replace the icon to a custom icon. Or if you just want to change the link, you go in and you change the link. You don't go to facebook.com/winks. You want to go to facebook.com/
the Underdog Bones.
Yeah, Underdog Bones. There you go. It's updated.
And if you're French, it's Underdog Bonnes.
Oh, did I have a typo there?
That was a joke. No, absolutely not. It was a joke. It was a bad joke. I won't even give it credit of being a dad joke. I'll just call it a bad joke.
But so you can do things like change the menu to any content you want. Now all of these pieces of content
what you want
also have their own pages associated with them. So it's not just this.
Yeah.
Guess what? It also
that was
the sub pages.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. As well. Is when you go into that category, is you're actually deleting. It could be one or multiple pages in that, because if we get rid of fish and aquatics, we actually could be, depending on the web map or the site map, we could be getting rid of multiple pages just by that one click of a button. Gone. We don't do anything with fish. We don't need anything at all to do with fish.
Right. So you can delete that.
We don't care.
Page. But here's the thing. Let's say I want to go.
If your fish doesn't want a dog treat, that's not our problem. Deal with it.
Well, here's the thing. Look, you can actually go in. You can hit this section up here that says, I don't want to edit the home page. I want to edit The dogs page. Let's say I want to edit the dogs page. I go to dogs.
Okay.
It's going to completely switch to the next page that has the dog stuff content. It's taking a minute to load. Now, this has kind of dummy content built into it. Dummy prices, dummy products, but look, it says I'm a product. Now, if I want to switch this to a different product, you can manage products. And you say, I want to manage this product. I want to change this product to my dog bones. It's loading the page. Hang on, it's taking a second. Loading.
Wait. While it's loading, we should drink a beer.
No, yes, it's beer time. It's always beer time. Now, it's only going slow because I'm doing a lot of things on my laptop right now.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of demand on the processing power of your computer right now.
But here's the thing. In the product section, it has all these dummy products built in. And I can actually go in and I can delete all of these and I can update them that I want.
Or edit.
Now, let's say this
You can delete or edit, change. I mean, the freedom is there, and the idea is that you have the capability to change these without a single bit of HTML. I think what are we up to? HTML5 now? HTML5 programming.
Right. So let's say I want to change. I want to update the first product on here. So I click this red water bowl here. Now I can change the image to any image that I want. It's going to ask me to upload an image file. I don't have an image file handy, so I'm not going to do that. But it's going to say I can change the product name. I can change the product description, which I totally should do.
Yes,
I can edit
in there. It's here and I hate I can edit. One of the things that a lot of people come to, it's like, damn it, Dave, you interrupt West a lot. Like I get excited because there are things in here that make it so simple.
Yeah.
And one of those is something as easy as making these changes.
Right.
These changes are not complicated. These changes are very easy. And if you didn't have any, or if you did have no, depending on which English vernacular you want to go with, if you had no website design ability at all, you are going to be able to literally logically step through this. And it's going to be so intuitive, especially from Wix. Now, granted, we've talked about this before, when you have something that is uber simple, that means you have less customization with it. But even with this, even with Wix, you still have some customization, a lot actually.
A lot.
And it is extremely familiar.
Yes.
You don't need to know anything. When you click the button and you say, oh, I don't like that, and you click on it and you work your way through it, it will literally feel very natural.
It is. It's super intuitive. And I'll tell you,
yes,
it's been a while since I've built a website for a client on Wix. So a lot of this stuff is actually new to me. But here's something I want to show you. Here's something I want to show you guys. And this is something that I completely forgot that even existed on here. So you don't need to know any coding, but a lot of people who are starting a business, they want to keep track of their books. Which, if you have a business, you're selling product, you want to keep track of your profits and your profit margin. Well, guess what? Guess what's built in here for reporting purposes? This is not customer facing, but, well, this part is. You can update the price. Let's say the price of this dog bowl costs $6. Well, guess what you can do? You can set sale prices. You can have, and for your bookkeeping purposes, you can keep track of the profit margin. Let's say the cost of this good is $3.
$2.50 to $3.
The
profit. If you're going, okay.
The profit from that.
Wait. Salesman Dave has to make so if you're selling something,
yes.
If you are not starting at 100% markup, so basically saying we're paying $3 for this, we're selling it for $6. That's 100% markup, right? 50% profit.
Right. So your profit margin is 50%.
Yes.
Right. So
your margin is 50%. So when you hear people talk about points and things like that, And maybe that's one of the things in the sales world that we go through, not so much marketing, is we hear nonstop about the number of points and the number of percentages, essentially the same thing, of where we are on product. You should not be selling under 100%.
And we should go over that in a dedicated show. Now,
absolutely a dedicated show, but just to throw that out there, just to make sure that the people who are starting this up and go, ooh, I'm making 100% markup or 100% this, and it's double the cost. Don't be afraid of it.
Right.
It's not a scary thing. You need to charge, and we've talked about this in the past. You need to charge because you're not just charging for the product; you're charging for all of your years.
You're charging for your time.
To get to that, yes.
You're charging for your time, and that's a whole different show. But the reason I point this out is being important. So all of this, the cost of goods, profit, and the margin, is not visible to the customer. The reason this is in here is for reporting, for you specifically, because when you sell products and you pull reports from the Wix website. Now, we're not going to get into the reporting today. We'll save that for another day. This is actually going to be very important, not only for keeping track of your inventory.
He blinked out here. I have no idea what he's saying.
Keeping track of your inventory and keeping track of your profits. But when you need to pay taxes, guess what? You need to have this data readily available. So this is actually very important. So you can update all of this stuff. SKU number. This is amazing. You can set a SKU number. You can set the in-stock or out-of-stock status. The shipping weight. If somebody has a custom shipping weight.
Well, wait. Yes, I've got to interrupt here because the SKU number can go from something as simple as here to something as large as a multinational BI or SAP. So even if you were to say, hey, in my accounting software that I use to run my company, I run SAP. Well, the SAP is going to pull from that SKU, which is the SKU number, and then it's going to pull all of the data that's associated with that SKU into it. And you're going to be able to get in your accounting software, your quantity, your inventory, what you should be buying. It should say, hey, next month, you're projected to sell XYZ of this and XYZ of that, and on and on and on based upon the SKU. So I'm sorry, I had to take a moment on this because it seems like some people may look at this and go, it can be absolutely huge impact on your business.
When you start getting multiple products being sold at multiple vendor locations, SKU is very important. However, if for the startup who is just selling at farmers markets and on this e-com site, not quite as important. But the bigger you get, the bigger you get, though, the more important it will be, and that's actually a different conversation that we should totally have.
Well, it's exactly, but it's just a kind of a demonstration of how powerful Wix is. They can take you from this entry level to the next level, to the next level, It's
scalable absolutely. It's all built in from day one, from minute one. But here's something else I wanted to get to that I find really valuable. This subscription tier. Now let's say Underdog Bones. Let's say I add the functionality for subscriptions to this. Every month, you want to order a full. Now, this is a sample size bag. You want to order a full size pack of Underdog Bones, and you want this delivered to your doorstep.
Why would you not?
And you want this
to be honest. If Underdog Bones had a thing where I could get a subscription for my dog, I would click it in a heartbeat and say, every month, I want XYZ amount of bones sent to me. I'm paying you XYZ dollars. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Right. Guess what? That's built in from setup. You can have that right here. Just set it up. You're good to go. So you can do that for all of. Sorry.
Are you all right there?
Tickling my throat. Now, next thing is you can set these up under collections. Let's say I have a collection. You can set these up under different collections. You can create a new collection for this specific product. And again, this is all for inventory purposes, for searchability, for SEO. This is all very important stuff. And it's all built in, and you don't need any coding capabilities to make this happen. So very, very good stuff. We're going to hit save on that. We're going to say that product is good to go. It is out the door. Now, let's say you set up all your products. You can do this in a matter of a couple of hours. If you're really at detail, a couple of hours. Look, if you only have a couple of products and you just knock out the stuff and say you want to get it live right now, I'd say within a few minutes you can have this.
Yeah, so if you were to go through here and bang out delete,
right.
Right now I'm selling one product.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could knock this out in a matter of minutes.
Look,
not hours, in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, Big Bentley's Pet Supply. They have I think 2 products, and it would take them a matter of to have this fully set up.
So because I always love to touch base, especially on our guests. So you got the Big Bentley's Pet Supply, the cleaning, and they've got the urine destroyer over there as well.
Yeah.
And those are the two main things that they push.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking 2 products. They can have this website set up and done in literally a matter of 20 minutes.
Easily. So let's say my products are all set up. I'm good to go. Pricing is right. The inventory stock is all right. All right, I hit X on that. We're good to go. So the entire dog category is set up. Now you go through each of these categories, delete ones you don't want, add ones you do want, or just change the ones that currently exist to something else. Let's say instead of fish and aquatics, I want to change this to, I don't know, spiders, because my son loves spiders. I'm going to hit manage menu. And I can then go in and I can change fish and aquatics. Guess what? I can change all of the settings on this entire menu piece. I can change this from fish and aquatics to spiders. It's done. Now let's say the website is the way that I want it. Let's say I really, really like the main imagery that's added. I don't need to add any more imagery. I have my own, and the stuff that was on there as far as the homepage goes is perfect. I like it. I've changed all the contact information. I've changed all the social media links. I've changed the phone numbers. I got my home phone number there, 867-5309. We're good to go. I want to publish this website. Let's say this is good to publish. Guess what? Neat, nice, nifty little publish.
So I'm sorry. I got to interrupt you again here, because my hometown in Chesapeake, Ohio was 867. That was the precursor. You dialed 740 or 614 at the time, depending on what time when it was. But it was 867. And so you could possibly had in my hometown, you could have had 867-5309.
Well, that is somebody's real number. I think it leads to just a voicemail now, but it is actually somebody's phone number.
So here, pro tip, you heard it here. If you have a grocery store loyalty program,
I know
you can go in
about loyalty programs
and punch in whatever your area code is, 867-5309. Whatever your area code is in the country, 867-5309.
Why?
I have it on pretty good authority that will work across the country, and now you're kind of that it is as much of off the radar as you can get.
Okay, good to know.
So, pro tip from Drunk Dave, you heard it here first.
Good to know. Okay, so let's say this website is good to go. Well, I don't want free shipping. I would have changed that text. Again, you click on the text and you say, I'm going to edit this text. I'm going to edit this text to say, not free shipping.
Not free shipping. You're paying for that, punk. Shipping right now, I will tell you, as a business owner, do not offer free shipping. All right, this is literally a professional who is doing this day by day. Do not offer free shipping.
Well,
if you look into
immediately takes out your
if you look into it, shipping costs have increased
Yeah.
up to a factor of 800% over the last 18 months.
Correct. And here,
do not offer free shipping.
So I'll tell. So you and I have often talked about. Here's a tangent that I think is totally relevant to everybody watching. Everybody watching needs to hear about this. So this is a tangent, but pay attention, please. So David, you and I have talked a lot about the dangers of the race to the bottom. When let's say you have a product and you post it on Amazon, and you say, you know what, this guy's charging less, I have to lower my price to compete with him. Well, guess what? He lowers his price, so he's lower. And then I have to lower my price. That's the race to the bottom. And in the end, everybody's a loser except, guess who? Amazon. Now, here's the thing.
Except the guy who maintained his price, did not get involved in that race to the bottom. He is the guy who is actually selling product at a profit.
Right.
And is making, what does the kids say these days? The bank? Making bank.
Making it rain. So the problem with a race to the bottom is everybody loses except for the platform, which in most cases is Amazon. Amazon. Now, the reason Amazon still succeeds isn't necessarily because they have the best prices. The reason Amazon succeeds is they make up for the lower prices with margin. They sell so much more.
Yes.
That when they make a penny, guess what? When they're making 1,000,000 pennies over here versus this Joe Blow making 3 pennies over here, they're making up for the profit loss in delivery costs in pure margin. So you can so I used to do a lot of work for a certain Fortune 500 company.
Volume.
So so in volume, which leads into margin. So in volume. But
yes.
So I used to do a lot of work for a certain Fortune 500 company, which won't be named. But one of the things was we came up with, so there was an option very early on. Right now you see Amazon pickup boxes all over the place. Very, very common sight. We had the option to be one of the first companies in the country to have these at all of our retail locations. And I'm sitting there, and myself and a couple other executives are making the argument, we got to have these things. These are very important. This is a big draw. Just get, feet on the ground, people in the locations. Because if you can get a person in your retail location, guess what? The chances are they're going to buy something, even if it's small. You want those heads in the store. You want the feet on the ground. But it got shot down because somebody else very high in the company said, why would we possibly want to have Amazon boxes in our stores? They're our competitors. And my mouth dropped open because guess what? No matter how, first of all, we're Fortune 500. Fortune 500 is big, not that big comparatively. And I'm just thinking in my head, Amazon is not our competitor. Amazon will never be our competitor. They are in a different league. They are in a different league than we will ever be. Here's what we need to do. We need to use their draw to bring people into our locations so that we can use this to our advantage.
Yes. So
don't compete with Amazon. Don't have a race to the bottom.
Undisclosed, from a business development guy who's saying, you know what, I want to grow a business, and we have this opportunity. I'm putting those set of boxes in the back of the store. I'm going to make
that's where they
walk through our stores to do that.
So here's the funny thing. Kohl's actually took the opportunity that we passed up on. Kohl's. So that what they did is they put all of those Amazon pickup boxes in the very back of the store, and Amazon now uses Kohl's as a return location. When somebody has a problem with an Amazon product, guess what? They can return it to Kohl's, and Kohl's will process this return for them. Well, guess what this does? This gets people into a Kohl's physical location, and in a lot of cases, more often than not,
I will literally cut my arm off before I go to a Kohl's.
Well, you and I are not the Kohl's core customer base.
Yes,
that's a different conversation.
We are absolutely not the Kohl's, because at some point in our lives we've been drugged to Kohl's and we said we don't want to do that again.
Right, but it brings all kinds of people into a Kohl's location. And guess what? In a lot of cases, they'll stop by and they'll buy X, Y, and Z product, or even a pack of gum. Something. It gets people in the stores. We passed up on that. because we didn't want to bring our competitor, Amazon, into our stores. Don't compete with Amazon.
Not
have a race
the
to the
between a
bottom.
competitor and a partner.
Right.
Which is a big deal. All right, let's move on because we promised that we were going to launch this website tonight, even though it's not going to be. It's not the official Underdog Bones website, but we promised that we were going to launch this tonight. We're at an hour and 45 minutes into our cast.
But
let's go ahead.
I get it.
Now, I'm absolutely to blame on this because I love to drag us off on tangents.
So it's not your. So we're publishing. So let's say hypothetically we have the site the way we want. So we're gonna hit this nice little.
Yep, that's what we want.
Nice, neat little publish thing here. So we're gonna hit this publish button.
675-309. Wait, are we gonna sing tonight?
No, we are.
I was thinking John Denver.
Hey,
congratulations!
No, we're not in a Rocky Mountain High. We are about to publish this website.
Oh, I love that song. That's actually called Annie's song, I believe. It's a wonderful song. Anyway, go ahead.
Annie's a lucky lady. So, we can publish this under this weird URL here. Which, look, if you're an affiliate website, you can do this. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
But what you can also do is you can say, I want to use my own domain. I can buy a domain for free through Wix, or I can use my own domain that I own elsewhere, and
yes,
I can do that. So here's what I can do. I can upgrade now. I can say I want to have underdogbones.com, which I own through GoDaddy. And I click that, and here's what the pricing that we so conveniently skipped over early on comes into play. And here are the different price options. So, basic websites, if you have a basic website that does not have e-com functionality, or you just want to blog, something like that, here's the price.
The most expensive one on here is $19.50.
Well, not necessarily. The most expensive one you can run into is Enterprise. Let's say I am...
Yeah, and I said that earlier. Until you get to the enterprises, until you get to the enterprise line, you're at $20.
Well, hang on.
Hell's just happened here.
You were the one that said you wanted to skip over pricing. We could have covered this all early on. Now,
no, I don't want to cover it. I don't want to cover it because none of these things are a barrier to you doing what you need to do.
Well, they're not, but you're not seeing the full price.
None of this.
Hang on. Well, they're not, but you're not seeing the full prices.
All right.
These prices here.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there is more. These prices that you're seeing here are basic website, not e-com websites. This does not apply to what we just built. What applies to what we just built is
click over to the
business and e-commerce. Now, they're a little bit more expensive, but not much. That's the great thing.
25.
Well, 25. Look, no, well,
still,
hang on.
Still not a barrier.
To start out, you're looking at $13.50. $13.50 for a fully functional e-com website. $13.50.
Hey, no Loch Ness Monster, no $13.50.
And guess what? I built the website.
That was a South Park reference for anybody who got that.
No, it's tree fitted. Tree fitted.
Tree fitted.
Tree fitted.
No tree fitted.
It's a Loch Ness Monster. No, I own tree fitted.
I ain't paying no Loch Ness Monster, no tree fitted.
I love South Park. That's so funny.
Oh God, it's a great show.
But here's the great thing.
I was watching. We got to take a quick pause here because yes, I'm gonna go on into a tangent.
All right.
So I was watching the newest ones with the
told you
the Global Play Symbols of Death. After the Global Play Symbols of Death, and he talked about NFTs, and I'm texting Wes during this whole thing. I'm like, dude, you're Butters.
I'm Butters. Great. Look, if you
all right, let's go on here and look at this.
If you have not seen the new South Park,
see what costs we're looking at.
The new South Park movies, they're on. Was it Hulu? Or was it HBO? I think it was Hulu.
Dude, I think it might have been Hulu. I don't know. I have every subscription service known to man.
I know. It's how we cut the cable cord trying to save money. Then we sign up for 12 subscription services.
Yeah. I pay a lot more than what I would have paid. My YouTube TV alone is $75 a month. So.
I don't like YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm guaranteed to be able to watch the Ohio State Buckeyes, OH, on YouTube TV. So that's really the only reason I have it. So now that it's over, I will probably get rid of it. But the people in my house were like, hey, we love diners, drive-ins, and dives.
So I don't watch baseball, so I'm not interested in what OSU has to offer. So here's the thing, David. So we just built this website. We have it fully built out. All the product information is on there. All of the data is perfect. The website's perfect. All we got to do is hit click, select. I want this website for $13.50 a month. And here's the thing: if my product costs $6,
Yep.
if I have one product on there costs $6, I sell 3 of those dog bowls for a month. I'm still making a profit even after this $13.50 a month. So I hit select on this. I can say yearly. I can say for 3 years I want that price. Now you're going to see the price go up. I only want a year of this. It's $162. 2 years, $282. 3 years, $396. Obviously, the longer you sign up for, the more you're going to save. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's all 50% off today. But look, let's say I want 3 years of that price. 3 years, my e-com website, even 1 year. It's still half off the normal price. Look, I'm good. Even at $35, it's still a hell of a good price.
There's ways to, so you got a $35 a month. So $35 a month to me is nothing. I would literally throw it on a random card.
Look, $35 a month, and this is on a per month basis. So the $35 is on a per month basis. So let's say I only want to test this out for a couple months. If I sell a lot, good. If not, screw it, I don't care. But if I'm confident I want a full year, guess what? It's $13.50 for a month for a whole year. It's $162. You can easily make that back. Easily. Even if you have a crappy product, if you push it hard enough, you can make that back. So let's say I want a year. A year here. I'm good. I hit continue to checkout. My website's already built. All I got to do at this point is enter my credit card information, which I'll do right now. Hang on. Here's my credit card number.
11111.
Yeah, exactly.
5178-9737-3671.
867-5309-0000.
867-5309. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. For those of you who are watching too, we're not going to show you our credit card. There's some shady guys like.
Yeah, I've mistakenly shown the inside of my
inbox
on some of these shows. So I'm not going to show you my credit card number this time. My current wife will thank me for that. But look, you hit submit. Your website is published. It's published under your domain, and it has full e-com functionality.
$162. That's for the whole year, right?
Yes.
It's $162 for a year.
For a year.
That's pretty easy to recover.
You can recoup.
That's pretty easy. And that's why I said I didn't want to talk about prices early. That's why I didn't. It's honestly why I said I don't want to talk about prices early. Because guess what? You need it. This is what drives your business. This needs to go in the cost of your business, but not a barrier to your business, if that makes sense to everyone out there.
Well,
you need to understand that it's a cost of doing business.
I do really
and you need to price your products accordingly.
I do really like the point you made early on when I almost got into prices. Don't let the cost to entry be the barrier that you make it out to be. Because when you spend a little bit more, guess what? You can recoup $162 in no time. It seems like a big chunk of change to drop right now.
Quick.
It seems like a big chunk of change for some people to drop right now. But guess what? If you sell a handful of your products, you've already made that back. You've already made that back.
Yep.
And here's the funny thing. Here's the great thing a lot of people don't realize. If you're a legitimate business, that $162 is tax deductible. That's a business write-off. You can write that off in your taxes. Why would you not pay that?
So we've talked about, I don't know if we went into depth with it, between a sole proprietor, an LLC, a S corp, and and different styles of corporations.
We will get into that. That's a different show.
Yeah, it's completely for a different show. But yeah, absolutely. You can write this. I mean, there's so much that you can do. So it's not like you get 100% of it back, but you get to write it off as a deduction amount of your total income. So if you didn't do a lot of total income, $162 for a year is going to be impactful to you on your income.
Yeah.
So you can actually take a loss on it, even if you're LLC. So on yours, you take an LLC. So, we won't go into tonight, but another night, we'll go into more depth and detail about the different taxes that you can get and how they play to your benefit. Again, we really struggle to stay non-political on the Underdog Journey, but we want you to understand that politics do play a role in how your business can run, what it's going to do, and how it's going to grow. So with that, I think we are at an hour and 55 minutes right now. So I think we went to it. We've showed you guys everything we wanted to do tonight. Content. Which, to be honest, what's that?
We went a little bit over, but it was valuable. Jeff Leffingwell,
very valuable
says great show. And Jeff, you're 100% right. Jeff, that's why we love you.
Yeah.
Even though you cheat at fishing.
Yeah, I agree.
We totally agree with you.
Yes. And here in the upcoming weeks, we are going to show you what it looks like. Now, we're not going to use the Wix or the WordPress platforms. We're going to use a different platform, but we are going to launch the we've already got Underdog Journey, the Underdog Plus. We're going to launch the simplylifesafety.com training programs and subscriptions for people in the life safety industry. And it's going to be great.
So I'll tell you, so we've kind of lost a lot of people at this point. The reason we're going to use a different platform for Simply Life Safety is here's another show that we're going to use to build up to that, is the importance of building a digital product. Let's say that you don't have a physical product you want to sell, but you have a digital product, like you have intellectual properties. You have expertise that doesn't physically translate. But let's say let's say you're a good author and you know how to write a book, right? Or you're a good fisherman.
I love writing books.
Or you're a good fisherman and you want to write a book or develop an online course on how to catch fish at Buddy's Pay Lake.
Mad Bass. I'm going to call it madbass.com.
Mad Bass.
In fact, if that's available, I'm going to buy it.
We'll call it Mad Bass Brother Trucker. And you want to sell this digital course on how to fish. Well, guess what? You can do that on Wix. You can do that on WordPress. But there are other sites that are much more custom built specifically for digital online courses. And we're going to show you how to do that as well. And those are the platforms that we're actually going to build Simply Life Safety on. And we're going to show you how to do it. And not only are we going to show you how to do it, we're going to show you how to build a live site. And we're actually going to launch Simply Life Safety as a live course that you can sign up for.
Well, that's one of my big processes. One of the things. So tomorrow night, I'm actually heading to Columbus, Ohio. On Friday, I have some things to do. But in my own personal time, not in business time, there are some things that I will be doing that pushes the growth of Simply Life Safety. I can't wait to launch it with you. Wes, you got to say the words right. We can't shut off, right?
No, I didn't realize you were done. We have so many tangents tonight. Well, look, a little tickle in my throat. Sorry. Yeah, I've been West. This guy's been David. And we've been the Underdog Journey. We will see you next time.
Enjoy. You guys have a good one.
Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funkin' in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red, and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free. I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray. Time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.